honeybees, welcome back to my channel. And as you can tell by today's title, I am going to be sharing with you guys my top 10 anticipated books for the rest of this year. I was supposed to do this in June, but that is perfectly fine because there are still so many books coming out for the rest of this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so let's go ahead and get into it. The first book is Codename Charming by Lucy Parker, and this is expected to come out August 15th. This is about Johnny and Pet. I'm just gonna say her name like that because her name is Petunia, but that sounds really weird to me, I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna be Pet and John. So anyway, this is about the two of them. They're co-workers, and there's this tabloid photo that goes viral about these two because they're both bodyguard and secretary, which is definitely a different type of vibe, but I'm so looking forward to it because it's literally so different from anything I've ever read. And of course, because it's fake dating, Grumpy X Sunshine, and this is just gonna be an exciting read. I can feel it in my bones that this is gonna be a good one, so I'm really excited to read this one. The second one, I don't think you guys are really surprised about this because a lot of YouTubers are excited for this one to come out, and this is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. And y'all already know, Lucian and Sloan, this is going to be the best book. I can feel it in my bones, and I haven't even finished the second book. That's already saying something to me because of course I'm gonna love this. This is like enemies to lovers kind of thing. This is definitely going to be a lot of banter in there. I already know it. I already feel it from like the first book. And I'm super excited, especially to find out their story because like y'all already seen in the first book, if you read it, there was so much bickering and stuff going on. I was just like, why are they so mad at each other? I'm super excited to read the third book in the Knockdown series, especially because it's the last book, and this is like the most anticipated relationship out of the whole three couples. So like, y'all already know. I'm just excited to read this one, so yeah. The third book on this list is The Love Plot, and this is by Samantha Young, and it's expected to come out on August 19th. This is also about Grumpy X Sunshine and fake dating because you already know my favorite trope, and it's about this hippie named Starshine Meadows. You already know. She was raised by hippies. I'm not sure if she's a hippie herself. I don't even know that, but she's all about freedom and, you know, justice and all of that good hippie stuff. But that is her kind of story, and she's a line girl, and she's kind of like a event person, so she goes to like children's birthday parties and stuff like that. So she has no problem with little flangs and stuff in relationships. So when she goes to this birthday party and meets this little girl's like uncle, she starts like messing with him or whatever, and she's just like, you know, whatever, I'm never going to see this guy ever again. But Ralph Whitman, who is the man that she's seen on that day, is a doctor, but his parents and stuff like that is so like, when are you gonna get a girlfriend? When are you gonna find the one? So anyway, when he runs into Star again, they end up going with this like deal. So it's kind of like a fake dating of convenience, I guess you can say. He's going to pay her to go to his family gatherings anyway. So that's kind of interesting. Super excited to read this one, and of course it's a romance, and you know I can't help myself with like a few romances to read now and then, you know. The next book on this list is a little bit of a switch up from the other one. This is called A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. This is expected to come out September 19th, and this is about a young woman named Effie who is always fantasizing and always believed in magic because she is always imagining about this fairy king that she's reading about. So basically this character she's reading about, she always has this like visions of him and such things. This is the only way she is getting through her semester at this prestigious architecture school she attends. So reading is her only way out, but when she gets an opportunity to go to the author who wrote about the fairy king, she ends up going to the house and, you know, decorating it, I believe, or something like that. But Effie found out that she's not the only one in the house. Preston, this other guy from this literature school, he is there to prove that the author is a fraud. So he's basically going through his study and stuff. The two go through this like butthead adventure and find out that this is probably gonna lead to the doom of them. I don't really know, but it's getting fantasy. Anyway, it is a fantasy and it is a young adult book, so I'm super excited to read it. The fifth book on this list, we're halfway through, y'all. This is The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. This is expected to come out August 15th. This is about a young woman or a young girl. I don't believe I know which age she is, but her name is Mia, and she ends up finding this book called The Scarlet Letter. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but I mean, most of us have. And she ends up finding this book, and it coincidentally matches up with the story of her mother, Ivy, which is kind of crazy, you know. She doesn't believe that the person who wrote this book, you know, wrote the book. So anyway, she goes on this little adventure of reading, and she finds that reading transforms you to a new world that brings a different world to you, and a world that brings you into a new world. So she finds that readers and writers have this like strong connection, and they share this impossible relationship or mysterious relationship where we connect on different levels. And I definitely believe that is such a great plot to a story, because as a reader myself, I feel like we always are feeling connected with the author, because sometimes we find really deep books and sometimes we find really great books, and we always want to find out what's on the author's mind when we're reading. So I think that's really amazing. This is going to be a great plot to a story, and I'm super excited to read it. And the 6th book on this list is called After That Night by Karin Slaughter, and I don't know if y'all can tell by the last name, but this is a mystery slash a thriller. This is supposed to come out August 22nd, and I'm super excited for this one because I love thrillers and mysteries. They always keep me turning the page every single time. So 15 years ago, when a celebratory night turns into a vicious, violent attack, Sarah Linton's life changes, like for the better, or you know, for the worse, we don't know. But anyway, she remade her life. She's getting married, she has a child. Well, she is married, and she has a child, and she works in a hospital. So when an emergency call calls in to the ER, she has to go, and she finds that this woman who comes in, she tries to save her life and finds that the brutal attack that she went through is similar to hers. Well, the FBI agent anyway finds that her situation, the patient, is similar to Sarah's. So this story is going to be like a mystery thriller, and it's going to be like a case kind of thing. So like find out who did this, like kind of thing. And I'm super excited to see how this is going to end up turn out. I'm really excited, and I love thrillers and mysteries about killings. We always gotta find out who done it. The 7th book on this list is The River We Remember by William Kent Krueger. This is expected to come out September 5th, and I don't know if you can also tell by this one, this is also a mystery and a historical thriller. Anyway, this is about a small town where a prestigious guy, he ends up getting murdered. Well, this sheriff, Brody Dern, he ends up having to go on the investigation, and all of the evidence ends up leading to this Native American who just got out of World War II. So he's a veteran anyway, and his name is Noah Bluestone, and he comes back home with his Japanese wife. Anyways, all of the suspension and all of the accusations lead to this rise in the town of teeters and more violence. So basically, with the investigation going on, more violence happens, and it's kind of like this crazy American story. But if y'all know how like America was built and everything, if like you actually paid attention in history, then you probably know like if America didn't have stern laws we had now, people would be exactly like this, start going crazy, killing each other, and it's just crazy. But anyway, I'm really interested in this, and I'm really happy to read it. The next one is a memoir, which I'm super excited to read. I don't know if y'all can tell, but like this year I've read a couple of memoirs, and I've been super excited to get into those because I love life experiences, and I love reading about other people's life experiences and seeing how that can relate to mine or how much I can relate to them. It's just really exciting to see. This one is called Thicker Than Water by Kerry Washington, and this is expected to come out September 27th. So Kerry Washington's story of her being a mother, wife, a daughter, an artist, advocate, and a trailblazer. So basically she's going through this story of triumphs, trauma, and depressions, and all of that good stuff. So basically her life, and I'm super excited to read it. The second to last one on this list is called The Land of Lost Things by John Connolly. This is expected to come out September 19th. This is a mystical fantasy, by the way, so I hope you're excited to hear about it. Phoebe, an 18-year-old, she got into a car crash, so her mother, I'm gonna just call her Cerise because I really don't know how to say her name yet, but Cerise is just sitting by her bedside, basically, you know, just waiting until her daughter wakes. She reads her daughter these stories and fantasies and mystical creatures and stuff like that, and ends up just reading it to her daughter, hoping that it'll wake her. However, the hospital that her daughter is staying in is also a place of mystical things. So she goes out and to this hospital because it's like basically the book is real life, I guess you can say, in their world. So she goes out on this adventure where there's a bunch of goons, mystical creatures, fairies, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's basically your average fairy tale. The last book on this list is called Witch of Wild Things by Raquel, Vazquez, Gilliland, and this book is expected to come out September 12th. This is about the Flores family and their legend of someone who in their older generations did something which leaves all of them with magical powers as they grow older or when they're born. Sage, who is part of the Flores family, has been trying to run away from this ever since her sister Sky died. So she's basically left hometown, but fate leads her right back home, and she ends up having to do the same job as she did before she left, living with her family once again. So this is basically her life all over again. So like fate is telling her, get back here. However, she falls in love with this guy, and basically this is her high school sweetheart. So like they were exes, but now that they're older and he's a little bit grown up, a little bit hotter, she ends up falling back in love with him. So she has to choose between her family and love, kind of like that kind of thing. So I'm super excited to read this book. I love how it's not just all romance and all, you know, fantasy. It's kind of like a mix between the two, and you know, the magic's there but it's not overpowering, and the romance is there but it's not overpowering. I don't know how this book will be. I really don't know. I'm really excited to read it though. Alright honeybees, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my top 10 anticipated books for the rest of this year, and as you can tell, most of them are like different. They're not all the same, and I'm definitely not the person who just reads the same thing all the time. I try to read and branch out to read everything, which I'm super excited about. So that's what makes this even more exciting, because I don't just read one genre. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please don't forget to comment the mushroom emoji, because y'all already know I love mushrooms. It's all over my room, so mushroom. Anyways, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. Please don't forget to follow me on all of my socials, which are linked down below in the description box. Please don't forget to be true and be you, and I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.